Welcome to BookBuzz Reviews and Summaries. There is something rare, almost sacred, about the spirit of a girl. It is a force both tender and ferocious, a quiet resilience wrapped in softness, a fierce courage disguised by grace. In a world that often misunderstands her strength, tries to tame her fire, or even erase her unique beauty altogether, the girl stands as a living testament to something eternal and irreplaceable. She is the first dreamer, the first nurturer, the first architect of tomorrow's hopes. But what makes us girls? Is it simply biology? Or is it something deeper, woven into the very fabric of our souls? Is it the way we love fiercely, hurt deeply, hope endlessly? Is it the way we carry broken pieces of ourselves and of others in hands that still find ways to heal, in a society desperate to mold us into something colder, harder, more cynical? The true essence of being a girl has become not just misunderstood, it has become revolutionary, to remain soft yet unbreakable, to dream without apology, to stand up, fall down, and rise again with laughter in our throats and light in our eyes. This book is not a eulogy to the girlhood we've lost. It is a battle cry to reclaim it, to celebrate it, to realize that in all our messiness, our emotion, our idealism, and even in our imperfections, we possess a power that the world desperately needs. Every scar, every lesson, every triumph and heartbreak forms the beautiful, complicated mosaic of who we are and why it is, against all odds, absolutely worth it. If you have ever wondered whether you're enough, whether the fight to stay true to yourself is worth the cost, if you've ever felt the weight of expectation pressing down on your dreams, this is your reminder. You were not made to be less. You were made to be breathtakingly, unapologetically whole. This is a love letter to the girls we were, the women we are becoming, and the spark that no darkness can ever extinguish. Welcome to What Makes Us Girls. Welcome to your story. Part 1. The Awakening. Being born a girl in a broken world. Chapter 1. The Weight of Girlhood. Brittany Pettibone begins What Makes Us Girls by pulling us into the complex, bittersweet experience of being born female in today's world. She paints a raw picture. Being a girl is simultaneously a blessing and a burden. From the very beginning, girls inherit invisible expectations. Society tells them, be pretty but not vain, smart but not intimidating, independent but not too assertive. It's a delicate, exhausting dance where missteps aren't forgiven easily. Brittany describes her own childhood memories, innocent moments colored by a growing realization that being a girl meant facing certain struggles boys often escaped. She talks about the confusing messages girls receive about their bodies, value, and purpose from as early as elementary school. Every woman listening is sure to feel a pang of recognition. She plants an important seed here. The world is broken, but girlhood isn't a curse, it's a calling. Chapter 2. The Cult of Comparison. As girls enter their teen years, Brittany explains, the comparison game hits with full force. It's no longer enough to simply be. You must outperform, outshine, outperfect others. Social media makes this exponentially worse. Brittany discusses how young girls are bombarded by curated images of beauty and success that make them feel like they're constantly falling short. She shares vulnerable anecdotes from her own teenage years, scrolling late at night, feeling inadequate, trying desperately to fit into a mold that kept shifting. Comparison, Brittany argues, is a thief that not only steals joy but corrupts the sisterhood between women. Instead of building each other up, girls are often conditioned to see each other as threats. Yet, even in this mess, Brittany offers hope. If comparison can be learned, it can also be unlearned. Real strength lies in reclaiming our ability to celebrate each other. Chapter 3. False Freedom, Real Chains. Next, Brittany tackles a bold subject, modern feminism and the concept of freedom offered to girls today. She explains that while the promises sound empowering, endless choice, absolute autonomy, they often leave girls feeling emptier than ever. The freedom to leave without limits, to detach from traditional values like family, commitment, and sacrifice, doesn't free women. It chains them to loneliness, dissatisfaction, and confusion. Brittany dares to ask uncomfortable questions. Why are so many women free but miserable? Why does the pursuit of endless pleasure often end in greater pain? What if true happiness isn't about chasing independence at all costs, but about connection, purpose, and responsibility? Brittany is challenging the most sacred assumptions of modern culture. Chapter 4: A Hunger for Meaning. Closing Part 1. Brittany taps into the spiritual emptiness haunting today's young women beneath the self-branding, hookup culture, endless selfies, and curated boss babe lifestyles. She sees something heartbreaking, a desperate hunger for meaning. Girls don't just want to be seen. They want to be known. They don't just want to be admired. They want to be loved, deeply, truly, and unconditionally. Brittany reveals her own moments of aching loneliness, of looking at her reflection and wondering, is this all there is? Her message is clear. Girlhood isn't about becoming everything the world tells you to be. It's about becoming the woman you were always meant to be, and that quest, however painful and messy, will be worth it. Part 1 Recap. Brittany Pettibone sets the emotional foundation, exposing the traps young women fall into: comparison, false freedom, spiritual starvation. But whispering that there is still a way out, a better path exists, girlhood is sacred, and it's calling us home. Part 2. The Battlefields, Facing the Trials of Girlhood. Chapter 5. Wounds We Don't Talk About. Brittany moves deeper now, straight into the silent battles girls fight every day. She talks about emotional wounds, betrayals by friends, broken hearts from careless lovers, harsh words from parents, the quiet trauma of simply being misunderstood. These wounds often don't leave visible scars. That's what makes them so dangerous. They fester inside, breeding insecurity, mistrust, and shame. Brittany shares how many girls, herself included, pretend these wounds don't exist, smiling, excelling, chasing distractions, when deep down, they're bleeding out emotionally. Healing begins when we name our wounds instead of hiding them. She says, there's no shame in being broken, only in refusing to heal. The message hits hard. You are not weak because you are hurt. You are human. Chapter 6. False Armor. When you're hurting, Brittany explains, you start reaching for armor, but the wrong kind. Some girls become cool girls, pretending not to care, suppressing their real emotions, numbing out. Others become mean girls, attacking before they can be attacked, and still others become lost girls, blending into whatever environment they're dropped into, just trying to survive. Brittany admits she wore all these armors at different times, but the armor that shields you also isolates you. It keeps people out and yourself trapped inside. She poses a haunting question. What if the strength we seek isn't in hiding our hearts, but in revealing them? To heal, Brittany says, girls must risk vulnerability again. They must take off the armor, even if it terrifies them. Chapter 7. Betrayal and Sisterhood. Few pains cut deeper than betrayal by other women. Brittany does not sugarcoat it. Girls can be cruel. Sometimes the people you trusted most will turn on you. The friend who gossips behind your back, the teammate who sabotages you, the confidant who weaponizes your secrets. This betrayal wounds not just individually but collectively. It damages our ability to trust other women at all. But Brittany insists that real sisterhood, authentic, loyal, and fierce, is still possible. It demands discernment, choosing friends who mirror your values, not your insecurities. It demands forgiveness, not letting betrayal harden your heart permanently. It demands courage, standing beside other women even when it would be easier to stand alone. True sisterhood, Brittany says, is one of the greatest weapons a girl can wield in this world. Chapter 8. When we become our own worst enemy. Sometimes, Brittany admits, it's not other people hurting us, it's ourselves. She tackles self-sabotage head-on, settling for toxic relationships, dulling your own dreams because you're scared of outshining others, tearing yourself apart with shame and criticism, abandoning your standards just to feel wanted. Brittany confesses her own struggles with self-doubt and destructive choices, offering a mirror for listeners to recognize their own patterns. Her takeaway is powerful. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not beyond redemption. The key, she says, is learning to mother yourself, offering yourself the love, boundaries, and forgiveness you may never have received from others, because the truth is, you can't fight for your girlhood if you're at war with yourself. Part 2 recap. Brittany Pettibone leads us through the brutal battles young women face, wounds, false strength, betrayals, and self-sabotage, but leaves us with a resounding promise. Even broken girls can become whole women. Even wounded girls can become warriors. Part 3. The Rebuilding, Becoming the Women We Were Meant to Be. Chapter 9. The Search for Identity. After surviving the battlefield of girlhood, Brittany leads us into a quieter, but no less urgent journey. Rebuilding ourselves, she talks about how many girls, after years of wearing masks, chasing approval, and betraying their own hearts, wake up one day asking, "Who am I?" Brittany emphasizes that real identity isn't found through popularity, beauty, career success, or Instagram followers. It's not something you achieve. It's something you remember. You were born with it. It's been buried under layers of fear, pain, and false narratives, but it's still there, sacred and unbreakable. She encourages girls to get radically honest with themselves, to peel away what the world has plastered over their souls, and reclaim the identity God gave them. Chapter 10. Healing Isn't Linear. Brittany is quick to set realistic expectations. Healing isn't a straight line. It's messy, it's exhausting, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. She shares that healing means forgiving others who aren't sorry, and sometimes forgiving yourself for the choices you made while you were hurting. It means letting go of bitterness, not because people deserve it, but because you deserve peace. It means facing memories you'd rather forget, and being gentle with yourself when the process breaks. You open all over again. Brittany insists that no act of healing, no matter how small, is wasted. Even on the days you feel like you're failing, you're further along than you think. Progress isn't perfection. Progress is persistence. Chapter 11. Redefining Strength. Brittany challenges the world's definition of a strong woman. It's not about being invulnerable, savage, or self-obsessed. That's just another mask. Real strength, she says, looks like remaining soft in a world that hardened you, choosing forgiveness when revenge would be easier, holding on to your values when everyone else is selling theirs, loving yourself enough to walk away from what diminishes you. Strength isn't about shutting people out. It's about opening your heart wisely, even after it's been broken. This chapter feels almost like a war cry. Be strong enough to be kind. Be strong enough to believe in goodness. Be strong enough to start again. Chapter 12. Learning to Love and Be Loved. Finally, Brittany returns to the ultimate purpose of rebuilding: to love and to be loved, not the counterfeit love of hookups, likes, or fleeting admiration, but real, sacrificial, soul-deep love. She shares hard-earned truths. You cannot truly love someone if you do not first know who you are. You cannot receive healthy love if you do not believe you are worthy of it. Real love isn't about possession or control. It's about service, commitment, and choosing someone over and over again. She talks about family, friendship, romance, and how these relationships flourish when built on honesty, faith, and courage, not fear and ego. And perhaps most importantly, Brittany says, before you can offer love to others, you must learn to be loved by the one who loved you first, God. This isn't just a return to faith, it's a return to hope. Part 3 recap. Brittany Pettibone shows that the journey to becoming a whole woman is not about chasing worldly success, but about remembering who you are, healing patiently, reclaiming true strength, and building a life centered around real, fierce love. Part 4. The Reward. Why it's all worth it. Chapter 13. The Beauty of Womanhood. After the war and the rebuilding, Brittany invites us to stand still for a moment and really look at the breathtaking beauty of womanhood. She reminds listeners that being a woman is not a weakness to be corrected or a flaw to be hidden. It's a gift, the ability to nurture life, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, the capacity to feel deeply, to see beauty in brokenness, to heal what seems beyond repair. the power to create homes, communities, hope out of sheer will and tender devotion. Brittany writes that womanhood, properly embraced, isn't something that limits you. It's something that liberates you. It's a profound strength wrapped in softness, a wildfire housed inside gentleness. Chapter 14. Carrying the Torch. Brittany explains that with this beauty comes responsibility. Girls who heal, who grow, who refuse to be hardened. They have a mission: to carry the torch, to be the light in a darkening world, to mentor younger girls who are still battling the lies we once believed, to embody the kind of strength that uplifts others rather than crushing them. The world needs more women who choose love over fear, faith over cynicism, and courage over comfort. She says, it's not always glamorous, it won't always be recognized, but carrying the torch, staying true, staying hopeful, transforms everything it touches. Chapter 15. The Quiet Miracles. Not every victory looks like a headline or a Hollywood ending. Brittany says the greatest miracles are often quiet ones. The girl who walks away from abuse, the woman who chooses forgiveness after unimaginable betrayal, the mother who builds a home of safety and laughter after growing up in chaos, the friend who stays loyal when it would be easier to leave. These quiet miracles don't make the news, but they change the world. One small act of courage at a time. Brittany urges listeners to recognize their own quiet miracles, to stop waiting for permission to feel proud of surviving, healing, and loving boldly. Chapter 16. It's All Worth It. In the final chapter, Brittany circles back to the title of her book and why it's all worth it. She acknowledges that girlhood, womanhood, life itself can be brutal, but also radiant, also full of redemption, also spilling over with unexpected joy, beauty, grace, and love. It's worth the heartbreak, it's worth the loneliness, it's worth the battles, the rebuilding, the unending choice to hope again. Because on the other side of all the struggle is a life where you are fully alive, scarred but radiant, imperfect but beloved. Brittany closes with a powerful reminder. You are not alone, you are made for this, and you are more beautiful than you know. Part 4 Recap. Brittany Pettibone shows us that embracing womanhood, in all its trials and triumphs, is not only possible, it's one of the most meaningful adventures we could ever choose. Final thought. This isn't just a book about girlhood, it's a book about becoming. Choosing to heal, choosing to love, choosing to carry the light, and choosing to believe, against all odds, that it's all deeply, breathtakingly worth it. Read the book to learn more. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries.